Admiral Lee Hanna stood on the bridge of her ship, looking at the stars through the big window. The stars looked different now. After 300 years of flying through empty space, they had finally reached the edge of known space again. Her hands shook a little as she held the metal rail in front of her. The ship was called Eternal Defiance. It was old and battle-worn, but it had kept them alive for 3 centuries. Behind it, 846 other ships followed in perfect formation. They were all that remained of humanity's great fleet that had left Earth so long ago. "Admiral," said Captain Park Jun, walking up beside her. He was younger than Hanna, but his hair was already gray from the stress of command. "Long-range sensors are picking up something. There are signals coming from the old human colonies." Hanna turned to look at him. Her eyes were tired but still sharp. "What kind of signals?" "Not human ones," Park Jun said quietly. "The aliens are using our old worlds." Commander Kim Nari stepped forward from her station. She was the ship's intelligence officer, and she knew more about alien races than anyone else in the fleet. "Admiral, I've been listening to their communications. The news is not good." Hanna nodded for her to continue. "They speak of humans as if we are extinct. They call us the burned-out species that destroyed our own sun trying to escape. They think we are all dead." The bridge went quiet. Everyone knew that Earth's sun had been damaged during the Great Escape. The aliens had attacked while humanity was trying to evacuate. Billions had died, but the Deep Space Fleet had escaped into the void, carrying with it the last hope of their species. "What else do they say?" Hanna asked. Kim Nari looked at her tablet. "The Vorthak Empire has taken over most of our old colonies. They are crystal beings that mine everything they can find. The Nexari Collective controls the outer systems. They are part machine, part living creature, and the Althan sovereignty has claimed the core worlds. They have powerful minds that can control others." Chief Engineer Wante spoke up from his position near the engine controls. He was the oldest person on the ship, and his hands were always dirty from fixing things. "Admiral, our ships are not what they used to be. We've been changing them for 300 years. The fusion drives are more powerful now. Our weapons are different. We learned to survive in ways the aliens never had to." Hanna walked over to the main display screen. It showed a map of space with red dots marking alien ships and green dots showing their own fleet. The red dots far outnumbered the green ones. "Show me our old home system," she said. The screen changed to show the Sol system. Where Earth had once been green and blue, now there was only a brown dead world. The sun burned dimly, still damaged from the old war. But what made Hanna angry was what she saw in the asteroid belt. Huge mining stations floated where Earth's space cities had once been. Alien ships moved back and forth, taking away the metal and rock that had once been human homes. The aliens were stealing even the bones of their civilization. "They think we are dead," Hanna said, her voice getting harder. "They think they can take everything that was ours and no one will stop them." Park Jun stood beside her. "Admiral, we could find a new world, somewhere far away. We could start over in peace." Hanna turned to look at him. Her eyes were like steel. "Captain, do you see those mining stations? Those are built on the graves of our people. Do you see those alien ships? They are flying through space that human children once played in." She turned to face the whole bridge crew. "We did not survive 300 years in the cold and dark just to run away and hide. We survived to come back, to make them pay for what they did, to show them that humanity is not dead." Lieutenant Choi Bin, the youngest officer on the bridge, stepped forward. "Admiral, my family records say my great-great-grandmother was born on Kepler 442b, the planet the aliens now call Vorthak Prime 7. If there are humans still alive there, then we will free them," Hanna said firmly. "All of them." Kim Nari checked her screens again. "Admiral, the alien communications show something else. They have been experimenting. They found human technology in human bodies. They have been studying us." "What kind of studying?" Wante asked, his voice full of anger. "The kind that requires living subjects," Kim Nari said quietly. The bridge was silent for a long moment. Everyone understood what that meant. Somewhere out there, humans were being tortured and killed by aliens who thought their species was extinct. Hanna walked back to her command chair and sat down. She pressed a button that would send her voice to every ship in the fleet. "This is Admiral Hanna speaking to all ships of the Terran Deep Fleet. Today we have learned that our enemy thinks we are dead. They have taken our worlds. They have destroyed our cities. They are torturing our people. They think no one will come to stop them." She paused for a moment. "They are wrong. We are the ghosts of humanity's past, and we have returned to haunt them. We are the children of Earth, and we have not forgotten our home. We are the last fleet of humanity, and we will not go quietly into the void." She stood up from her chair. "All ships, prepare for ghost jump to Vorthak space. We have an appointment with destiny." The fleet began to move. 847 ships turned together, their engines glowing brighter as they prepared to jump through space itself. They had been flying for 3 centuries, but now they were going home. Park Jun walked over to Hana. "Admiral, are you sure about this?" "We are outnumbered thousands to 1. Hana smiled for the first time in years. "Captain, they have numbers. They have bigger ships. They have more weapons. But they have one big problem." "What's that?" "They think like aliens. We think like humans, and humans never give up." The ships began to disappear one by one as they jumped through space. The void that had hidden them for 3 centuries was about to give up its secret. Humanity was coming home, and the galaxy would never be the same. In the distance, alien sensors detected strange readings in space, but they dismissed them as background radiation. After all, everyone knew that humanity was extinct. What could possibly be out there in the empty void? They were about to find out. The last ship to jump was the Eternal Defiance. As it vanished from normal space, a message beacon was left behind. If any human ships ever came looking, they would find it. The message was simple: the Deep Fleet has returned. Follow us home. Then there was only empty space and stars, keeping their secrets as they had for 300 years. But somewhere in the galaxy, 847 human ships were moving toward their destiny. The aliens had ruled the galaxy for 3 centuries. That was about to change. The human fleet appeared at the edge of the Kepler 442 system like ghosts becoming real. The planet that had once been called New Sol by its human colonists now had a different name. The aliens called it Mining World 7. Captain Park Jun stood on the bridge of his ship, the New Horizon. Through his window, he could see the planet that had once been green and full of life. Now it was brown and gray, with huge holes where the aliens had dug up everything valuable. "Captain," said his communications officer, "we're getting the full picture from our scouts. The planet has about 10 million Vorthak aliens on it. They're crystal beings, about 8 feet tall. They have built mining cities all over the surface." Park Jun nodded. "What about humans?" "We're detecting human life signs, sir, but not on the surface, underground. It looks like there are camps or prisons built into the old mine shafts." Lieutenant Choi Bin was standing nearby, looking at the planet through the window. His hands were pressed against the glass. "My family," he whispered. "They might still be down there." Park Jun put a hand on the young man's shoulder. "We'll get them out, Lieutenant. I promise." On the main ship, Admiral Hana was meeting with her top officers. Commander Kim Nari had been studying the alien signals for hours. "Admiral," Kim Nari said, "I've learned something terrible. The Vorthak are not just mining the planet, they're mining the people." "What do you mean?" asked Dr. Yoon Sol, the fleet's chief scientist. Kim Nari showed them pictures on her screen. "The Vorthak use crystal computers to think and plan. But crystals can only do so much. They need living brains to solve complex problems. They have been taking human prisoners and connecting their minds to the crystal networks." Master Sergeant Kang Rio, the fleet's top soldier, stood up angrily. "You mean they're using our people as living computers?" "Yes," Kim Nari said quietly. "According to their communications, they have thousands of human minds trapped in crystal matrices. Some have been there for over 200 years. The room went quiet. Everyone was thinking about what it would be like to be trapped in a crystal prison for 2 centuries. Forced to think and calculate for your enemies. "How do we get them out?" Hana asked. Dr. Yoon Sol looked at the data. "If we can get close to the crystal computers, I might be able to download the human consciousness patterns. But we would need to be very careful. One mistake and we could destroy the minds we're trying to save." Hana turned to Kang Rio. "Sergeant, can your Marines take the orbital stations?" Kang Rio smiled grimly. "Admiral, my Marines have been waiting 300 years for a good fight. Give us the word, and we'll take those stations apart piece by piece." The plan was simple but dangerous. Captain Park Jun would lead a stealth attack on the orbital mining platforms while the main fleet stayed hidden. Once they had control of the platforms, Dr. Yoon Sol would work to free the trapped human minds. 6 hours later, Park Jun's stealth ships moved toward the planet like shadows. The alien sensors could not see them coming. Human technology had improved during their long exile. Their ships could bend light around them, making them invisible. Target acquired, whispered Lieutenant Choi Bin from his fighter cockpit. "I can see the main platform. It's huge, Captain. About the size of a small city. Remember," Park Jun said over the radio, "we need those crystal computers intact. We're not here to destroy, we're here to rescue." The attack began at exactly midnight planet time. Human fighters swept out of nowhere, their weapons cutting through alien defenses like knives through paper. The Vorthak had not fought a real war in decades. They had forgotten how dangerous humans could be. Kang Rio's Marines landed on the platform's docking bays. The aliens tried to fight back, but their crystal weapons were slow compared to human speed. The Marines moved like dancers, their armor protecting them while they cleared room after room. "This way," Kang Rio shouted to his team. "The computer core should be in the center of the platform." They fought their way through corridors filled with crystal formations and strange alien machinery. The Vorthak were tough enemies, but they were not used to fighting humans. They had forgotten how creative and stubborn humans could be in battle. When they reached the computer core, Dr. Yoon Sol was already there with her equipment. She had been brought over on a transport ship as soon as the Marines had secured the area. "My God," she whispered when she saw the crystal computers. They were beautiful and terrible at the same time. Huge formations of blue and white crystal reached up to the ceiling, pulsing with light, but inside each crystal she could see the shadow of a human face. "How many?" Kang Rio asked. "Thousands," Dr. Yoon Sol said, setting up her equipment. "They're all connected to each other and to the alien network. I need time to figure out how to disconnect them safely." Outside, the battle was still going on. Park Jun's ships were fighting alien reinforcements that had come from the planet below. The aliens were sending everything they had, but the human ships were faster and smarter. "Captain," his weapons officer called out, "we're getting messages from the planet surface. The aliens are threatening to kill the human prisoners if we don't stop attacking." Park Jun thought for a moment. "Tell them this. If they hurt one human prisoner, we will turn their entire planet to glass. But if they surrender now, we will show mercy." The alien response came quickly. "They would not surrender." "Then we do this the hard way," Park Jun said. In the computer core, Dr. Yoon Sol was working frantically. She had figured out how to talk to the trapped human minds. What she found shocked her. "They're still conscious," she told Kang Rio. "After 200 years, they're still aware. They know what's happening. They've been watching everything the aliens do, learning about them." One of the minds spoke to her through her equipment. The voice was old and tired, but still human. "Doctor, is that you? Are we being rescued?" "Yes," Dr. Yoon Sol said, tears in her eyes. "We're taking you home." "Home?" the voice asked. "But Earth? Earth still exists," Dr. Yoon Sol said. "And so do we. Humanity survived. We came back for you." The trapped minds began to talk all at once. 200 years of loneliness and pain came pouring out. But there was also hope. They had never given up hope that someone would come for them. Dr. Yoon Sol worked for hours, carefully downloading each consciousness pattern into portable storage units. It was delicate work. One mistake could erase a mind forever. "How many have you saved?" Kang Rio asked. 3,000 so far, Dr. Yoon Sol said. "But there are more platforms, more prisons. We're going to need a lot more storage units." The battle outside was ending. The alien ships were retreating or surrendering. Park Jun had won a complete victory, but he knew this was just the beginning. "Admiral Hana," he said over the radio, "the platform is secure. Dr. Yoon Sol has freed thousands of human minds from alien computers. But this is bigger than we thought. There are more platforms, more prisons." Hana's voice came back strong and clear. "Then we free them all, Captain." Every single one. But as the human ships prepared to move to the next target, alarms began going off throughout the galaxy. The alien empires had detected the attack. They knew that humanity had returned, and they were not happy about it. Emergency meetings were being held on alien homeworlds. Military fleets were being called up. The three great empires that had ruled the galaxy for 3 centuries were about to face their greatest challenge. Humanity was no longer hiding in the void. They were back and they were angry. Lieutenant Choi Bin looked down at the planet where his ancestors had lived. "We're coming for all of you," he whispered. "Every human who is still alive down there. We won't leave anyone behind." The rescued minds were already providing valuable intelligence about alien weaknesses and secret locations. The aliens had thought they were using humans as tools, but the humans had been watching and learning. The hunt for the scattered children of Earth had begun. News of the human attack spread across the galaxy like wildfire. On the crystal world of Vorthak Prime, the High Council was meeting in emergency session. The crystal beings were glowing brighter than usual, which meant they were angry and afraid. "Impossible," said the first crystal, its voice like breaking glass. "The humans are extinct. We destroyed their sun. We watched their worlds burn. Yet our mining world 7 is gone," replied the second crystal. "Our platforms are destroyed. 3,000 human consciousness patterns have been stolen from our networks." On the biomechanical world of Nexari Central, a different kind of meeting was taking place. The Nexari were creatures that were part machine and part living tissue. They could change their bodies like humans changed clothes. "The probability calculations were wrong," said Prime Nexari Unit 7. Its voice came from speakers built into its chest. "Humans were supposed to be extinct. This does not match our data." "Data can be incorrect," said Unit 12, its metal arms moving as it spoke. "We must adapt. We must hunt them down before they become a bigger threat." Far away on the Althan homeworld, beings of pure mental energy were talking without words. They shared thoughts directly, mind to mind. What they were thinking was not pleasant. The humans had returned, and somehow their minds could not be read or controlled. This was impossible. The Althan had ruled through mental power for centuries. No species could resist them. But humans were different now. 300 years of isolation had changed them in ways the aliens could not understand. Admiral Hana stood in her command center, reading reports from across the galaxy. The rescued human minds were providing incredible intelligence about alien activities and hidden human survivors. "Admiral," said Commander Kim Nari, "we're getting signals from 17 different star systems. There are human survivor groups everywhere. Some have been hiding for centuries. Others are being held prisoner." Captain Song Woo stepped forward. He was the commander of the stealth destroyer Silent Thunder. His job was to find and rescue these hidden humans. "Give me coordinates," he said. "My ship can jump to any system without being detected. We can start bringing them home." "It's not that simple," Kim Nari said. "Many of these groups are in deep hiding. They've been scared for so long they might not trust us. Others are being held in heavily guarded prison camps." Colonel Imdana spoke up from her position near the tactical display. She was in charge of Special Forces operations. Her soldiers were the best fighters in the fleet. "My teams can handle the prison camps," she said. "Give us the locations and we'll get our people out." Dr. Yoon Sol was working with the rescued consciousness patterns. Many of them had been connected to alien computers for so long that they had learned things no human was supposed to know. "Admiral," she said, "these minds have been watching alien activities for 2 centuries. They know about secret weapons, hidden bases, military plans. They've seen everything the aliens have been doing." One of the rescued minds spoke through the ship's communication system. The voice belonged to an old man named Lee Kwan, who had been trapped in crystal for over 200 years. "Admiral Hana," he said, "we know where they keep their most important prisoners. There's a moon in the Althan system where they hold humans with special abilities. Scientists, engineers, doctors. They've been forcing them to work on alien projects." Hana looked at the star map. The Althan system was far away and heavily defended. It would be a dangerous mission. "How many humans are there?" she asked. "Thousands," Lee Kwan replied. "Maybe tens of thousands. They've been collecting the best human minds for centuries." Chief Engineer Wan Tai was listening to the conversation. "Admiral, if we could rescue those scientists and engineers, imagine what we could build. What we could create. We could make our fleet even stronger. But rescuing them would not be easy." The aliens were already responding to the human attacks. Long-range sensors showed alien fleets moving throughout the galaxy. Captain Park Jun brought bad news. "Admiral, we're detecting a massive Nexari hunter fleet heading this way. Bioships the size of cities. They can track quantum signatures across star systems." "How long until they get here?" Hana asked. 3 days, maybe 4. Lieutenant Choi Bin was studying the sensor readings. "Admiral, those bioships are designed to hunt down and destroy entire species. The Nexari used them to wipe out the Zephyrian race 50 years ago." Hana thought for a moment. They could run, but then the aliens would hunt them across the galaxy. Or they could fight, but they were outnumbered hundreds to 1. "There's a third option," said Commander Kim Nari. "We could split up, send some ships to rescue the prisoners while others engage the hunter fleet." "Too risky," Hana said. "If we split our forces, we might lose everything." Then one of the rescued minds spoke up. It was a woman named Park Soon who had been trapped for 150 years. "Admiral," she said, We have been watching the aliens fight each other for centuries. They don't trust each other. The three empires work together sometimes, but they also compete and fight. What are you suggesting? Hana asked. Make them fight each other instead of fighting us, Park Soon replied. We know their weaknesses. We know their secrets. We can turn them against each other. Dr. Yunso looked excited. The consciousness patterns have access to centuries of alien communications. Private messages between empires. Secret deals, betrayals, we could use this information. Hana smiled. It was a dangerous plan, but it might work. Instead of fighting all three alien empires at once, they could make the empires fight each other. Kim Nari, she said, start working on a psychological warfare campaign. Use everything the rescued minds know about alien politics. I want the three empires so busy fighting each other that they forget about us. And while they're distracted, asked Captain Songwoo. We rescue every human we can find, Hana said. We hit their prison camps, their research stations, their slave worlds. By the time they realize what we're doing, it will be too late. Colonel Dana grinned. I like this plan, Admiral. My teams are ready to move. The next few hours were busy. The human fleet split into small groups, each with a specific mission. Songwoo's stealth ships would search for hidden human colonies. Dana's special forces would attack prison camps. The main fleet would engage alien forces and keep them busy. But the most important part of the plan was the psychological warfare. Kim Nari and the rescued minds worked together to create false communications between the alien empires. They made it look like each empire was planning to betray the others. This should start some interesting conversations, Kim Nari said, as she sent fake messages across the galaxy. The effect was immediate. Within hours, the alien empires were accusing each other of treachery. The Vorthak thought the Nexari were planning to steal their crystal technology. The Nexari believed the Althan were trying to mind control their bioships. The Althan were convinced that both other empires were plotting against them. As the alien fleets began changing course to face each other instead of the humans, Admiral Hana gave the order to begin the rescue operations. All ships, she said over the fleet-wide communication system. We have spent 300 years running and hiding. Today we start bringing our people home. Today we remind the galaxy that humanity does not abandon its own. The human ships scattered across space like seeds in the wind. Each one carried the hope of rescue for humans who had been trapped and forgotten for centuries. Captain Songwoo jumped his ship toward a distant system where sensors had detected human life signs. Colonel Dana's special forces prepared to assault a heavily defended prison moon. The main fleet moved toward the approaching Nexari hunter ships. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity had not only survived their exile, they had evolved. They had grown stronger, and they were very, very angry about what had been done to their people. The storm that would reshape the galaxy had begun. The impossible had happened. 3,000 alien ships surrounded the human fleet in the Tau Ceti system. The three empires had stopped fighting each other long enough to deal with what they saw as a greater threat. Admiral Hana looked at the tactical display and saw red dots everywhere. Well, she said quietly, this is not how I plan to spend my 71st birthday. Captain Park Jun stood beside her command chair. Admiral, we're outnumbered 4-1. Their ships are bigger than ours. Maybe we should consider surrender. Hana looked at him with sharp eyes. Captain, do you remember what we found in those alien computers? Thousands of human minds trapped for centuries. Do you think they got there through surrender? Park Jun looked down. He knew she was right. Besides, Hana continued, we have something they don't expect. What's that, Admiral? We're human. We don't give up. Commander Kim Nari was working frantically at her station. Admiral, I'm reading the alien communications. They're planning to capture us alive. They want to study our technology and our people. That's not going to happen, said Chief Engineer Wan Tae. Admiral, I need to tell you something about our ships. 300 years of running from aliens has made us very good at building engines. Explain, Hana said. Our fusion reactors are 3 times more efficient than anything the aliens have. We can fight longer, run faster, and jump farther than they can. They don't know this because they thought we were dead. Lieutenant Choi Bin was monitoring the enemy fleet movements. Admiral, the alien ships are moving into attack formation. They're trying to surround us completely. Hana activated the fleet-wide communication system. All ships, this is Admiral Hana. We are about to begin Operation Wildfire. You all know what that means. Throughout the fleet, human ships began to change. Weapons systems that had been hidden for centuries came online. Engine outputs increased to levels that would have been impossible for normal ships. The humans had been preparing for this moment for 300 years. The operation is simple, Hana explained to her bridge crew. We don't fight them like they expect. We break into small groups and hit them everywhere at once. Make them chase us. Make them waste fuel and ammunition, turn their size against them. Commander Nam Young spoke up from his cyber warfare station. Admiral, I'm already inside their communication networks. 3 centuries of listening to alien signals has taught us how to hack their systems. Good. Start causing confusion. Make their commanders think they're getting orders from their superiors. The more chaos we create, the better. Captain Big Su was in charge of the engineering teams that had been modifying human ships with captured alien technology. Admiral, we've installed Vorthak crystal computers on 50 of our ships. We've got Nexari bioarmor on another 100, and we figured out how to block Althan mind control. How did you do that? Dr. Yoon Sol asked. 300 years of isolation changed our brains, Beksu explained. We think differently now. The Althan can't read minds that work like ours. The alien fleet began its attack. Massive Vorthak crystal ships fired energy beams that could destroy planets. Nexari bioships released swarms of fighter creatures that moved like living things. Althan vessels tried to take control of human minds from across space. But something strange happened. The human ships didn't fight back the way the aliens expected. Instead of standing and fighting, they scattered like a school of fish being chased by sharks. All ships execute wildfire protocol, Hana ordered. The human fleet broke into dozens of small groups. Each group had a specific target and mission. Some attacked alien supply lines. Others rescued human prisoners from nearby worlds. A few groups just caused as much confusion as possible. Lieutenant Colonel Omi was coordinating with the rescued human consciousness patterns. These ancient minds had been watching alien tactics for centuries. They knew every weakness, every mistake the aliens had ever made. Colonel, said one of the minds, the Nexari bioships need to feed every 6 hours. If you can keep them fighting longer than that, they'll start to weaken. What about the Vorthak crystal ships? Omi asked. Their energy weapons overheat if they fire too often. Make them waste shots on fake targets, and the Althan? They're the most dangerous, but also the most proud. Insult them and they'll make stupid decisions just to prove they're superior. Omi smiled. I think we can work with that. Captain Song Wu was leading a strike group toward a Nexari bioship the size of a city. His stealth destroyer Silent Thunder could not be detected by alien sensors. Target their feeding ports, he told his weapons officer. If we can damage those, the ship will starve. The attack was swift and precise. Human weapons cut into the bioship's hull, destroying the organs it used to absorb nutrients from space. The massive creature began to weaken immediately. On another front, Colonel Imdana was leading a boarding action against a Vorthak crystal ship. Her Marines wore special armor that could resist crystal energy weapons. Remember, she told her team, these crystals shatter if you hit them at the right frequency. Use the sonic weapons. The Marines moved through the crystal ship like ghosts, their sonic weapons causing the alien structures to crack and break. The Vorthak had never faced an enemy that understood their weaknesses so well. Captain Park Jun had been forced to abandon his damaged ship, but he was rescued by a human fighter pilot. Now he was helping coordinate the battle from a mobile command center. Admiral, he reported, the alien alliance is starting to break down. The Nexari are complaining that the Vorthak ships aren't providing enough support. The Althan think both other species are incompetent. Good, Hana replied. Keep pushing them. Make them angrier at each other than they are at us. The battle went on for hours. Human ships darted in and out of the alien formation like wasps attacking a giant. Every time the aliens tried to focus their fire on one group of humans, another group would attack from a different direction. Chief Engineer Wan Tai was monitoring the fleet's energy levels. Admiral, our fusion reactors are still at 80% capacity. The alien ships are already running low on power. How can you tell? Hana asked. Their fire rate is decreasing. Their movements are getting slower. Big ships need a lot of energy, and they've been fighting for 6 hours straight. Commander Kim Nari had been listening to alien communications. Admiral, the alien commanders are arguing with each other. The Nexari Admiral is blaming the Vorthak for poor planning. The Althan are threatening to withdraw if the other species don't follow their orders. Time to make things worse, Hana said. Namyoung, send fake orders to the alien fleets. Make each empire think the others are retreating. Within minutes, the alien alliance began to fall apart. Nexari ships turned to leave. thinking the Vorthak had abandoned them. Vorthak vessels opened fire on Althan ships, believing they were being betrayed. The Althan tried to take mental control of both other species, causing even more chaos. "This is it," Hana announced to the fleet. "All ships begin final assault. Hit them while they're fighting each other." The human ships converged on the confused alien fleet like a pack of wolves. Precision strikes took out command ships. Cyber attacks shut down alien communication networks. Boarding parties captured alien technology and prisoners. Master Sergeant Kang Rio's Marines discovered something terrible on a captured Nexari bioship. In the ship's living computers, they found human children being used as processors for the alien systems. "Get them out," Kang Rio ordered his medics. "All of them." Dr. Yoon Sol worked frantically to disconnect the children from the alien biocomputers. Many had been connected since birth and had never seen the outside world. "It's okay," she told a frightened little girl. "You're safe now. We're taking you home." "Home?" the child asked. "What is home?" "Home is where your family is," Dr. Yoon Sol said softly. "And we're your family now." As the battle ended, the alien fleets were in full retreat. Hundreds of alien ships had been destroyed or captured. The three empires had lost more ships in one day than they had in 50 years of previous conflicts. But the cost to humanity had been high too. Many human ships were damaged. Good people had died. Admiral Hana looked at the casualty reports and felt the weight of command on her shoulders. "Admiral," said Captain Song Woo over the communication system, "we've rescued over 10,000 human prisoners from alien ships, but there are still millions more out there." Hana nodded. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. The alien empires would regroup and come back stronger. But humanity had proven something important today. They could not only survive against impossible odds. They could win. "All ships," Hana announced, "begin rescue and recovery operations. We have people to save and a galaxy to liberate." The void no longer seemed so empty. It was full of hope. 5 years had passed since the great battle at Tau Ceti. The galaxy was no longer the same place. Admiral Lee Hana, now 76 years old, stood on the observation deck of the rebuilt space station above New Seoul. Through the window, she could see hundreds of human ships coming and going. The planet below was green again. Human terraforming technology, improved by centuries of survival in the void, had healed the scars left by alien mining. Cities were being rebuilt. Children were playing in parks that had been strip mines just 5 years ago. "Admiral," said Captain Park Jun, walking up beside her. He was older too, but he smiled more now. "The morning reports. We rescued another 3,000 humans from the Althan research stations. That brings the total to over 2 million freed in the past month." Hana nodded. The great rescue operation had been going on for 5 years. Every week, human ships found more hidden colonies, more prison camps, more survivors who had been forgotten by the galaxy. "What about the alien empires?" she asked. "Still fighting each other more than us," Park Jun replied. "The Nexari and Vorthak have been at war for 2 years over mining rights. The Althan are trying to stay neutral, but they're losing territory every day." Commander Kim Nari approached them with a tablet full of intelligence reports. "Admiral, the alien governments are talking about a peace treaty." "With us," Hana raised an eyebrow. "Peace? After what they did to our people?" "They're scared," Kim Nari explained. "Our technology has advanced faster than theirs. Our ships are better. Our weapons are more precise. Our people are more united. They know they can't win a long war against us." It was true. Human technology had exploded forward during the 5 years of liberation. The rescued human scientists and engineers had brought knowledge from across the galaxy. The consciousness patterns from alien computers had provided secrets that took the alien centuries to discover. Chief Engineer Wan Tai had built fusion reactors that could power entire planets. Dr. Yoon Sol had developed medical technology that could heal injuries that would have been fatal before. The combination of human creativity and alien knowledge had created miracles. "What kind of peace are they offering?" Hana asked. "Complete withdrawal from all former human territories," Kim Nari said. "Release of all human prisoners. Payment of reparations for 3 centuries of occupation. And recognition of humanity as an equal power in the galaxy." Captain Songwoo joined the conversation. His hair was now completely gray, but his eyes were still sharp. "Admiral, my scouts have found something interesting in the Outer Rim. There are rumors of other species that the 3 empires have been oppressing, races that went into hiding like we did." "How many?" Hana asked. "Maybe dozens, maybe hundreds. The galaxy is bigger than the three empires want anyone to know. Lieutenant Choi Bin, now a full captain, was monitoring communications from across the galaxy. Admiral, we're getting messages from these hidden species. They want to join us. They want to fight back against the empires. Hana walked to the window and looked out at the stars. For 3 centuries, humanity had been alone in the void. Now they were discovering that they were not the only ones who had suffered under alien rule. Colonel Dana was leading training exercises for the new human recruits. Young people who had been born in alien prison camps were learning to be soldiers and pilots. They were angry about what had been done to their families, but they were also hopeful about the future. "Ma'am," said one of the recruits, a young woman named Lee Su who had been rescued from a Vorthak crystal farm, "when do we get to fight back?" "You already are fighting back," Dana told her. "Every day you train, every skill you learn, every ship you fly is a victory against the aliens who thought they could break us." Master Sergeant Kang Rio was training a special unit of former prisoners. These were humans who had been connected to alien computers for decades. They understood alien technology better than any human alive. "The crystal networks are vulnerable here," explained former prisoner Park Soon, pointing to a holographic display. "If we can insert a virus at this point, we can shut down their entire communication system." "And the bioships?" asked Kang Rio. "They think like animals," said another former prisoner, a man named Kim Young who had been trapped for over a century. "If we can make them afraid, they'll run no matter what their controllers tell them to do." The knowledge of the rescued prisoners was invaluable. They had spent centuries learning alien weaknesses while pretending to be helpless. Now that knowledge was being used to plan the liberation of the galaxy. Dr. Yoon Sol was working with the consciousness patterns to develop new technologies. The ancient minds had ideas that no living human had ever considered. "What if we could build ships that think for themselves?" suggested the consciousness of Lee Kwan, who had been the fleet's chief engineer before being captured 200 years ago. "Ships that could adapt and evolve during battle? Is that possible?" Dr. Yoon Sol asked. "We've had 3 centuries to think about it," Lee Kwan replied. "We've got some ideas." Commander Nam Young was coordinating with resistance groups across the galaxy. The psychological warfare campaign that had started during the war was now a galaxy-wide liberation movement. "Admiral," he reported, 17 different species have declared independence from the 3 empires in the past month. The alien governments are losing control. What about their military response? Hana asked. Weak and scattered. Their fleets are stretched too thin. They're trying to fight rebellions on hundreds of worlds while also fighting each other. They don't have enough ships or soldiers. The tide had turned. Humanity had gone from hiding in the void to leading a galaxy-wide revolution against the empires that had oppressed so many species for so long. Captain Bayek, Su brought news about the construction of new human ships. "Admiral, the shipyards are working at full capacity. We're building vessels that combine the best of human and alien technology, ships that can outfight anything the empires have." "How many?" Hana asked. "We'll have over 5,000 ships within the year, and that's not counting the vessels being built by our new allies." Lieutenant Colonel O-Mi was working with the rescued consciousness patterns to plan the final campaign. "Admiral, we've identified the 3 empire capital worlds. If we can strike all 3 at the same time, we can end this war quickly." "How?" Park Jun asked. "Not with destruction," O-Mi explained. "With liberation. Each capital world has millions of enslaved beings from conquered species. If we can free them all at once, the empires will collapse from within." Hana thought about this plan. It was ambitious, maybe impossible. But then again, everything they had accomplished in the past 5 years had seemed impossible. "What would we need?" she asked. "Everything," O-Mi said. "Every ship, every soldier, every ally we've made. It would be the largest military operation in galactic history. And if we fail, then we keep fighting." "But Admiral, I don't think we can fail. The galaxy has been waiting for someone to stand up to these empires for centuries. We've shown everyone that it's possible." Hana looked around at her officers. These were people who had survived 3 centuries in the void. They had faced impossible odds and won. They had turned from hunted refugees into the leaders of a galactic liberation movement. "All right," she said. "Begin planning Operation Homecoming. We're going to free every enslaved being in the galaxy." The planning took months. Ships and resources were gathered from across the galaxy. The new alliance of free species contributed everything they could. It would be the most complex military operation ever attempted. On the day of the operation, Hana stood on the bridge of a new ship, the Eternal Hope. Around her, thousands of ships from dozens of species prepared for the final battle. "Admiral," said Captain Song Wu, "all fleets report ready." "Begin the operation," Hana ordered. Across the galaxy, Liberation fleets jumped into 3 star systems simultaneously. The Empire capitals had never been attacked before. Their defenses were strong, but they were not prepared for an assault on this scale. The battles were fierce but brief. Human ships, supported by their allies, broke through the orbital defenses. Landing craft descended on the capital worlds, carrying soldiers from every free species in the galaxy. But the real victory came when the enslaved populations saw that help had arrived. On Vorthak Prime, crystal slave miners rose up against their masters. On Nixari Central, bio-engineered servants turned against their creators. On Althan Supreme, telepathically controlled slaves broke, free of their mental chains. The 3 empires that had ruled the galaxy for centuries collapsed in a single day. Admiral Hana received the surrender of the last Empire Admiral in the same system where humanity had once hidden in fear. The irony was not lost on her. "Your people fought well," the defeated Althan commander said through his translator. "We underestimated you." "You didn't underestimate us," Hana replied. "You forgot that we were people at all. That was your mistake." Years later, Hana stood once again on the observation deck above New Sol. But now she was looking at something different. The planet was still green and beautiful, but the space around it was full of ships from dozens of species. The orbital stations were bustling with activity, as representatives from across the galaxy worked together to build a better future.